What's up, guys? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, Nvidia, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to break down what's happening with the economic calendar moving forward, talk about other tickers out there, what you should be watching for as time goes on. Just note that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. Deposits $2,000 and you're guaranteed 30, not to mention 8.1% APY in uninvested cash. Saw friends at the end of March. Anyways, let's talk about what's happening to Tesla. Looking at Tesla, we're on a bit of a downtrend right now. We are a little bit down during this pre-market session. And we're going to be watching to see a retest of this very, very key support near 325 to 320. We've hit that many times, and so far Tesla's trying to hold this. But if we lose 320, we're looking for a bigger dip down. So overall, we're holding up quite well. The question is what's happening from here. I'm seeing lots of headlines about how for the month of January, we're actually seeing Tesla sales down quite a bit. They're also down about 45% relative to a year ago. And, they're getting lots of criticisms because of this. Honestly, guys, it happens, right? We're seeing a 2-year low in the European sales. At least for the month of January, there's still lots of headlines coming out about this. And this is what's contributing to why Tesla's selling off a bit. However, just know that, January was a while back, and we're going to be waiting to see what the sales look like for the end of February. And then we also have the Model Y refresh coming out soon, so hopefully it can help to offset this. But like I said before, we're still seeing lots and lots of negative news as a result of this. There was some good news, however. The US car maker Tesla is going to be acquiring parts of the insolvent German high tech parts maker Mans. That's including more than 300 employees in its site. Tesla's widening its presence in Germany, which is quite interesting, at least for now, despite the fact that there has been a decline in their sales. So they're not talking about the purchase price or the completion of the transaction time or anything like that. They're just letting us know that Tesla's once again going to be widening its presence in Germany. And then this is going to help them with a lot of different things. This will once again be very interesting, especially as they improve their manufacturing capabilities. But that's some news that's come out, at least for Germany. Besides that, for the broader markets, please remember that today is Tuesday. Okay. At 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the confidence report, consumer confidence data coming out. And then we also happen to have the Richmond Fed manufacturing numbers, manufacturing shipments, and then revenue services. So get ready for all of this. This is going to be very, very important for us. So let's see what happens at 10 a.m. with the consumer confidence and some manufacturing numbers. We'll see if that leads to some volatility or not. But get ready for a big move at 10 a.m. Once this data is out, it may cause some interesting moves. We also had the Home Depot announce earnings. And then tomorrow, don't forget, it's going to be Nvidia's earnings. That's going to be a big one. So get ready for some volatility soon. Unfortunately for the Home Depot, despite the fact that they had good earnings, what happened was weak. So they didn't have the best guide, especially because of the fact that their overall growth is just slowing down, and that's making some investors kind of concerned. So if anything, they're expecting total sales to grow by 2.8% in the year ahead. So at least there's some growth, but it's not necessarily what people were expecting. So we're missing expectations, at least thus far. And as a result, with this weak guidance, the share price is coming down. Good earnings, but weak guidance. The market did come down even more on Monday. We're going to see if we could try to rebound at least thus far. Hims and Her Health ended up beating fourth quarter expectations and revenue expectations, but they had weak margins, so just keep that in mind. And besides that, Donald Trump did make an announcement, which I will talk more about in my next couple of videos, about how he wants to move forward with the Chinese, not the Chinese, the Canadian and Mexican tariffs. So keep that in mind. I will talk more about this very soon. But keep that in mind. It's very, very important news. So what do I see from this point on? Honestly, guys, Tesla's not looking that great. We're looking a little bit bearish this morning. I do anticipate we might get very close to this 325 area, and we'll see if we get a bounce here. We're trying to hold this support. Even if we do get a temporary move up, if we touch this and move up a little bit, that does not turn us bear. That does not turn us bullish. Excuse me. We're still bearish because we're making lower highs and lower lows. So I'm going to be watching this base right here on Tesla. It's forming at this 325 area. It's possible that we retest the support, come up a little bit. We see a little bit of an up move, at least to start things off. And then if we reject again, make another lower high. We could continue to retest 325 or even lose it and continue to fall, approaching Nvidia's earnings. So this is very, very possible for Tesla. Watch that 325 to 320 area. We might dip a little bit more in this morning, approaching it, but we'll see what happens once our data comes down at 10 a.m. and if we get a small bounce or not. And then if we lose 320, I do expect us to continue to fall. Even if we get some kind of small push, right back up to like 335 or something, that does not mean Tesla's going to bounce forever. It could just be a small move up before it starts to dip. So watch that very closely. That's very, very probable. As far as SPY goes, however, this is showing a little bit more resilience. We formed a nice wick here. We came very close to about the 594s. So it's possible we come down to retest support before it tries to rebound a bit, but we're going to be looking for a big reaction depending on the manufacturing numbers. I have to wait for those first to see if we get some kind of rebound move or not. And even if we do get the rebound move, we could still get followed by more downside. That's every time we've rebounded, reject, rebound, reject. So if we get some kind of rebound move, we could reject here. I do think we might do that, but that depends on these manufacturing numbers. And there's still going to be a risk of more downside. So watch 599.5 as resistance and 594 is the critical support. Might push a bit before it comes back down again. So please be very careful. And we'll see what happens with the manufacturing numbers and consumer confidence. For the QQQ, we could attempt to retest 522 and we'll see if you reject off this. So move back up here would be very healthy, and a rejection that's completely healthy. As long as you don't lose 516, we're going to be okay. Might push to the low 520s before it comes back down, so keep that in mind. For the Russell 2000, we're also trying to bounce right here. We could be trying to make our way back up towards like 218. And we'll see if you reject and come back down. But I do anticipate a little bit of a bounce here for the 218s or so before it comes back down. But watch and see a move, a little rebound move to start things off, and we'll see if we get a rejection. On ES, we're going to be looking for a retest of this trend line, so I think we could push a little bit on ES. Notice we have this trend line acting as previous resistance. It became support, but now it's back to resistance. So maybe we see a small push here, a little bit of a push. Retest the trend line. If we get a rejection, we could come back down lower if we reject off that. But look for a little push attempt in the morning. As long as we're above 6,000, we could push for the low 6,000s, like 6,025 to get very close to this trend line. Then we could come back down if we reject off that. So just keep that in mind. A small move up could be coming. Same thing with NQ. We might be pushing for 21,500. We'll see if we get a rejection off that. Remember, we have to wait for this consumer confidence data, so we'll see what that leads to. Bitcoin's looking very bearish. Nonetheless, this pattern is more bearish looking. We need to try to reclaim 90,000. Otherwise, we could continue to fall back down for like 85,000 or below. Overall, it's bearish. There's no sign of a bounce. We're looking weak. No sign of anything else. Nvidia, I did call out the possibility of an inverse head and shoulders here, the left shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder. But here's the thing about Nvidia. Make sure you watch 132 as our main resistance. And our support is going to be down here around 128 and then 126. With this rejection coming, it's possible we dip a little bit more towards like 128, and we'll see if we bounce or not. I do anticipate a little bit more downside for the time being approaching its earnings. So watch 130. If it doesn't hold, I'm looking for 128 to 126 for a bit more downside, and we'll see if we bounce. So just keep that in mind. Tesla's on a bit of a downtrend. I already mentioned this, but like I said before, our sales are not looking the best in Europe. I'm seeing a lot of negative headlines coming out even right now about that. So I'd like to see us retest 325 and see if we get some kind of move back up. And then we could continue to fall after that if that's the most likely case. But it depends if we could hold 325 to 320. And the chart is still bearish nonetheless for now as we approach Nvidia's earnings. On Apple, we're kind of rejecting here. We'll have to see if we could get back above 248 to 250 or not. I'm looking for 245, then the very low at 240s as our potential supports to see how we end up reacting. For coin's on a bit of a downtrend move. We're going to be looking to see how we end up reacting to like 215. If we hold this, we could attempt to bounce, but I'm just saying that we look a little bit more bearish for now. Amazon trying to rebound a bit, might retest 215. We'll see if we reject off it or not. I could see a small move up, and we'll see if we get some kind of rejection depending on our manufacturing numbers. Look for a test of 215. Let's see if Amazon rejects or not. Looking at Meta, it came very close to my targets. I was talking about how we could be seeing 660 to 657. Came very close. Now we're trying to turn here. Might retest to 675. We'll see if you reject or not. There might be a small move up coming, but then it could still reject and continue its next leg down. Microsoft could be dipping to about the low 400s, and we'll see if it bounces. And Google is not showing any signs of bouncing yet. It could be looking for 180 to 178. So the markets Looks like it might try a little bit of an upward move, a small one, but then we could still reject as the trend remains bearish. Tesla's also looking a little bit heavy this morning, but let's see what happens with the manufacturing numbers at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 30 minutes after market open. And consumer confidence might cause some volatility, so get ready for that. With that being said, guys, I thank you for listening. Have a good one, and peace out.